All right, today we're talking about something huge in education. It's this new wave of AI tools. And no, this isn't about replacing teachers, not at all. It's about giving them back their most precious resource, their time. So let's jump right in. But before we can get to the solution, you've got to understand the problem, right? We need to really get a handle on the core conflict here. Teachers today, they're facing this incredible level of overload. It's a daily battle against the clock that's about so much more than just teaching. And it leads to this really tough question, one that you hear from school districts and parents all over the place. Why are so many amazing teachers burning out? You know the passion is still there, but the sheer weight of all the administrative stuff, it's just become overwhelming. So what does that daily grind actually look like for them? Well, it's this just relentless cycle. First, you've got the huge burden of instructional planning, coming up with lessons from scratch. Then there's the absolutely unsustainable workload from grading, that mountain of papers that eats up evenings and weekends. And on top of that, juggling a whole bunch of different apps that don't even talk to each other. Every single one of these things is a hurdle, and it just drains energy that should be going to the students. Okay, so this is where the idea of an AI co-teacher comes into play. And the key thing to get here is that this isn't about just throwing another app onto the pile. The whole point is to create a single, unified command center that can automate all that, well, that busy work. And this quote, wow, it just nails the mission perfectly. The goal is to give every educator an all-in-one digital assistant to automate the stuff that takes up way too much of their day. It's all about letting AI handle the logistics, so teachers can get back to focusing on the stuff only a human can do. So what's actually in this all-in-one assistant? Okay, so it's basically an integrated suite with two main parts, two core engines. The first one is what they call a teacher workflow command center. Think of it as the hub for all the daily stuff, planning, grading, classroom management. And the second part, that's the library and curriculum intelligence platform, which is a fancy way of saying it turns the school library into a really smart, active partner in teaching. All right, let's dive into that first part, shall we? Let's look at how we can revolutionize the classroom workflow. These are the tools that go right after a teacher's daily tasks, the ones that could completely change the rhythm of their day. You know how it is. Every single great lesson, it all begins with a plan. But staring at a blank page, trying to build one from the ground up, that can take hours. Honestly, it's often the biggest bottleneck in a teacher's entire week. So check this out. This is where the magic happens. The AI curriculum planner makes it so simple. The teacher just puts in a few key things, a topic, the grade level, and how long the lesson should be. That's the input. Then the AI does all the heavy lifting in the background, using all these educational frameworks. And the output? A complete, standards-aligned lesson plan in seconds. Now, it's not meant to replace a teacher's expertise, of course, but as a starting point, it's incredibly powerful. Okay, now for the next huge time sink, grading. Just look at this before and after. It's like night and day. On one side, you have the old way, hours of after-school work, feedback that can be inconsistent, and long delays getting work back to students. But with AI, the whole process is up to 80% faster. The feedback is consistent because it's based on a rubric, and it syncs right to the gradebook. We're talking about a total game changer for getting your evenings back. And it doesn't stop there. What about actually creating the materials for the class? That's where something called the Magic Resource Studio comes in. And it's like having a creative partner on call. Need a diagram? A good one? Just type a prompt. Want to whip up a quick quiz from a block of text? Just paste it in. You can even snap a photo of an old paper worksheet, one of your favorites, and boom, it's digitized and ready to go as an interactive quiz for the whole class. All right, so that's a quick look at the teacher's personal workflow. But remember, there were two parts to this whole thing. So now let's pivot to that second component, because this is where one of the school's biggest, most underutilized resources, the library, comes alive. And the centerpiece of this is a tool called the Curriculum Weaver. Now get this, it doesn't just have a list of the books in your library, it understands what's inside them. So when a teacher puts in a topic, say the American Revolution, the AI scans their actual library catalog, pulls out the most relevant books they already own, and then automatically generates lesson plans, vocab lists, and discussion questions using those specific books.
So what you're seeing is a shift from the library being just passive storage to it becoming an active partner in education. Think about it, cataloging a whole shelf of books with just a photo, automating reading fluency assessments to check words per minute and accuracy. There are even features that let students chat with characters from the books they're reading to make it more engaging. It's all about activating the amazing resources a school already has.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. We've talked about the teacher's workflow and the library, but what happens when you put them together? You don't just get two separate tools, you get something much bigger, a unified school ecosystem.
And this really hits on the core strategic problem for school administrators. The problem isn't a lack of tools, right? It's having a whole stack of fragmented apps, a mess of different programs that don't talk to each other, which just creates tons of inefficiency.
This chart just lays it out so clearly. You can see how other apps might handle one or two things, maybe lesson planning or grading. But to get the whole package, a school has to buy and juggle all these different subscriptions. A unified platform like this one, though, consolidates everything. All those separate pieces, lesson planning, grading, resource creation, student tracking, it's all in one place. That means less money, less training time, and way less complexity. And if you're a school leader, this is absolutely crucial because this kind of technology lines up perfectly with the big grant funding priorities. You're hitting instructional improvement, educator retention, tech modernization, literacy development. It checks all the boxes. That makes it a much easier investment to justify. So when you put it all together, what does it all mean? What's the end game here? It's really about a fundamental shift, a move from management to mentorship. It's simple, really. By letting technology handle all the endless logistics, the planning, the grading, the resource management, it frees up so much mental energy, and most importantly, time. And that's what allows educators to focus on the uniquely human side of teaching, to really connect with their students. And this final quote, man, it just says it all. Stop managing inventory and start managing learning. That is such a powerful idea. The focus moves away from the stuff, the paperwork, the books on the shelf, and back to the whole reason we're here. The learning, the connection, the inspiration. And really, that's the big question this whole idea leaves us with. What could education truly achieve if technology finally gave our teachers their time back? Think about it. It's not really about what the AI can do on its own. It's about what our incredible educators can do when they're freed up to do what only they can do: connect, challenge, and inspire.